Okay, we'll go to set depth to 0, so remove this one. Let's look next on our highlights. And as the highlights going, it is produce highlight from the lighting. So example, I'm going to set bright intensity. You'll notice right here, we start having this hot spot. So the highlights is very important if you want to simulate some of the texture. For example, it's like specular light almost. If we're going to the to the reflection, and we'll pop up global reflection high. Okay, let's also change to metallic right here just for now. You'll notice right here this highlight, it's add good effect for us, looking almost like it's a metal. So these options we can modify it. Also, some of the materials with highlights, you can create transparency. You can add highlights with a different coloring and create a bubble. So as example, let's go right here to the color. We'll go switch this to let's go to natural grain. Okay, I'm going to switch this to the white color, and we'll go to lock for now. And I want to reduce roughness, contrast, so we'll just have it one simple kind of white little bit material. So let's go back to highlights, and highlight map. What I want to do, we can modify it. So I can go check and change color. Okay, so now our highlight should be a little bit red color. What if I want to have it different? What if I want to select rainbow or other ones? How was it before? You notice on some options we have right here symbols, and this is mean we can connect this property to function driven property, so function editor. Some, like right here, we don't have it any. On the color we don't, but in the highlights as first we meet them. So let's say, for example, I want set instead this, I want to create rainbow color. So I open my function editor. You can see right here highlights. I can modify instead of color. I can go create color map. Okay, right here. Okay, we can preload it color map as a rainbow. Okay, let's go connect highlights here. We don't need that one anymore. We can delete it. Okay. And we can take this one and connect, just for now, let's go to this grayscale. So the highlights will change based on this. And you can see right here in preview, it's already was yellow and it's slightly changing on the colors. So we can modify more, but I don't want to go too depth in this because I don't want to confuse it too much. And what we have right now with function editor, just overall, you can notice we can take these highlights, contact, and you can see right here, now we have it, color is changed. Of course, we can go set more shiny, so more glassy kind of look. Okay, single dot. And we can take from bright just slightly down and do. That way we have it kind of nice based on effect. And again, let's go bring 2.4 bump map, remove displacement, and we'll have it a little bit better even now going production. So on the highlights, this one, you also notice we have it anisotropic highlights. So this is just how it's effect with lighting. So right here we have it kind of isotropic or other ways. So as default, most time you probably want to keep it on a 0 or a low, but it's depend again on the lighting when you want to apply it. So we also have options right here. You can notice apply variable highlighted. So let's go ahead, we disconnect this. Okay, so I'm going to just delete options. We'll go switch these highlights to the white. Okay, and let's click enable variable highlights. You notice right here we now have our function open. So it's meaning we can open preloaded, already predefined if we need highlights. Okay, and you can see how it's modified. So it's applied different type of highlights. We can also use the function same like before, only work with. We can use image map, also apply highlights function. So if I want to scale way down, so I can go ahead and use both of those. and apply filters on intensity and size. So example, I want kind of going maybe a little bit more curve, so it will go lower and just increasing a bit smaller. So we'll do this way. You'll notice right here it will kind of changing a little bit darker and go highlight top, so highlight and go out this way. Okay, we also can reduce in size based on highlights. So with a darker, smaller, and a brighter, bigger. So we can also modify this way. Again, this is a filters, you can apply it, and you have variable highlights if you need it. Let's go like right now, we can go brighter, shinier, go right here to the one, so just to modify. Okay, so we'll disable our variable for now, so we can continue to our transparency. But overall, highlights is kind of important if you can create a shiny reflection or glass materials or maybe otherwise. So it does add this little bit hotspot from the different light sources. Again, because it's additional calculation that will add render time as well. If you have an object on the back which you not important highlights, I do recommend for you just disable, take them down, so it will take a little bit off the render time. So next, let's go look on our transparency tab. And rise transparency, it's how much light rays can process through the object. This will respond with the global transparency. Notice right here we also have connection to the function if we need it. But overall transparency is 0, full transparent object. And right here you can notice one thing why I left highlights, it's now all kind of glowing. And it's several reasons. One, we have a reflection enable. So reflection will do this. So if we take reflection down to the 0, you'll notice right here it will kind of disappear. So if you have a problem with this, be sure your effects reflection and this one is disabled. Okay, now we'll go in transparency, 100% full transparent object. The light rate is still passing through because we do not disable. And this you can verify by change refraction index. Refraction index is how much light rays will change direction by passing object. And I think it's 1.33 for the water. Okay, or a glass. So we can actually set specific, and you can see right here, X-ray rays, lights coming and they change direction. We don't change transparency, only what we have changed refraction index. And you can go like on Wikipedia and check different refraction index for different materials, so you can have the very accurate diamond, sapphire, or any other. You can modify very clear. Okay, global transparency give it us transparency from 0 non-transparent to kind of more Milky Way and going all the way to the full transparency. This is different from translucity. So kind of it's have two tabs, and sometimes you can say, hey, my transparency, but you still see through, the particle still going. Translucity work a little bit different. Okay, next we have a blur transparency. So this has allowed us to say how much of the blurriness to the rays will apply as they pass through the object. In some cases, harder to see here with render, but you can see we have some dots start blurring on the back. Let's go ahead. We'll just add text. So let's go right here. Okay. We'll go preloaded text. Okay, and let's go ahead render so we can see how much blur. Some effect like blur and reflection you can see right here when you go in a final, so it will be enabled. As soon we do enable in a final, okay, we'll go ignore luminosity because it will take a little bit time to render. Okay, and you can obviously see right here with lower quality on our resolution, but we still have this blur kind of applied. So this will work for okay, let's go to down right here, transparency. This is our blur transparency. Also we have quite a bit effect because our refraction very high, So let's go even drop down closer to 1, so we have a little bit refraction, but not as much. So same with the blurring, we can reduce. It will give it our clear look, like from lens right here. But the problem with this, with increasing blurring, is give it nice effect, but always it will, you need pop-up quality to reduce some of this graininess, which increase time. Okay, we'll look on refraction, flare. When light pass through, it will create a flare on the surface. It will affect also water, and you can increase, decrease this. Turn reflective with the angle. That is very currently it's maybe not that feasible, except when you create water, and for example lake of the water, and those waves you want them reflect some scenery on a back, you want increased reflection. Specific this one was using when I created lake tutorial in Epic Landscape, so you can see how we're using reflective with angle. But overall, it is angle to the water and how much is reflected back to the camera. You can set by default 40 on a, it's an average, but if you need more reflection like mirror lake, you want to take this reflection and increase. But be careful when you go, because in some cases right here you can see even on this globe it starts to have this milky reflection. We can do 100% and it's turning to the mirror kind of, because it's reflecting from all 100%. So be careful how you use it. So like right here we start having kind of nicer reflection, but it is useful mostly on the water when using with the waves. Okay, we also have additional effects, and those effects will apply. Fuzzy, it's edge of the object, so if we enable this one, the some fuzziness effect will come up. You'll notice the refraction index is off. Okay, let's decrease a little bit transparency so we have an object seen. But this is what add this fuzziness on a ad. So you can create some volumetric with this one. We have an adaptive type. Mostly those ones you probably won't use it. Physical transparency. The more and more they find nice use of this, because it is accurate calculation of the transparency in the view. When you enable this, you all notice right here we have a different tab, absorption and scattering. We have a different type of mode. By default, it's all set by direction. Fast ocean for the water, mostly when you don't need that accurate, but it is less accurate on the top, most accurate on the bottom, but it will increase time. So again, if you want fast ocean, direct volumetric, indirected, it will create a little bit better quality, but take a little bit longer time. Depth currently 10 meters, so we can also set what transparency applied, and you can see right here we have a much nicer transparency. But the problem is now we start having this grain. It's how the transparency disappear better on the edges, and we need pop-up quality of this. So we have absorption and scattering. The light absorb it and scatter. So if we switch, let's put scatter some other color so we can preview. You can see right here where the scattering mostly happen. We can tell different absorption color. Again, mostly it's just to preview. So and you can see absorption happen right here. Combinations we're creating. We also have an option to anisotropic and to let me set these colors. Okay. And as I'm changing, we also have another option below. It's quality boost, and you probably want to use this one if you have it when you render, and you can see we have this grainy, so we want pop up. But again, that will create a very nice, very clear render. But again, it will take quite a bit render time to do this. We also have it apply a thin surface. This is more apply for the, if we need to render like water, we don't want it take time, but we want to render, so it will apply to this. And also we have another one, variable transparency. It is similar to what we have before. You notice this is checkbox, we still have it physical, so we can uncheck this. We can use it normal transparency, but we still have it our variable transparency available to us. So and this is similar to what we had with highlights variable transparency, where we can specify function and blurring transparency filters to specific. So also one more thing, so on variable transparency, well, actually it's not variable, but on transparency, you notice we have it fading in, and this is just using how much light will fade in color or light color as it's going deeper in our object. And right here you can see it's something similar, so let me go bring kind of closer maybe. So right here you can preview, we kind of start affecting this. So it's some simulated from what we did with the physical transparency when it's going a little bit deeper and accurate inside, except this is more simulation, and a physical transparency will create more accurate formula to render this. But overall, if you need faster way or more accurate but a little bit longer way, so it's between choice.